You can make sheets of real, usable paper from cow manure for essentially nothing. The cow does most of the work for you. And the reason this works is the same reason it has been done by craftspeople in India and Thailand for centuries, while most people are still convinced you need wood pulp, a $200 paper-making kit, or some kind of industrial press. You do not. There are 5 steps you can do this weekend that will turn a pile of dried manure into a stack of finished sheets, and none of them require equipment that costs more than a few dollars. Here's the first one. Go to any pasture, dairy farm, or stable and collect a bucket of dried cow patties. You want them brown and crumbling, not fresh and wet. Farmers will almost always let you take them for free because they pay to have manure hauled off. Wear gloves. While you're out, stop at any grocery store and buy a box of Arm & Hammer washing soda. That is sodium carbonate, the white granular kind, not baking soda. It costs about $4, and 1 box will last you through dozens of batches. You do not want lye, you do not want laundry detergent, you want pure washing soda. Now here is why this works and why it is different from what you've probably been told. Cow manure is not waste in the way most people imagine it. It is roughly half undigested plant fiber. A cow has 4 stomachs and still cannot fully break down cellulose, lignin, and hemicellulose. The tough, stringy plant fibers from the grass and hay it ate pass straight through, get rinsed clean of the soft organic matter, and come out the other side as a free supply of high-quality paper-making fiber. The same cellulose chains that make wood pulp work are sitting in that pile. The cow already did the harvesting, the chopping, and the pre-processing for you. This is the second step. Take a large stock pot you do not care about, fill it with water, and dissolve about ½ cup of washing soda per gallon. Drop in a few handfuls of the dried manure and boil it for 2 hours. This is the non-negotiable part. The boiling does 2 things at once. It sterilizes the material, killing any E. coli, salmonella, or parasite eggs that might still be alive in the fiber, and the alkaline bath breaks down the lignin, the brown polymer that binds plant cells together. Lignin is what makes raw fiber stiff and brittle. Strip it out, and what you have left is clean, flexible cellulose. This is the exact same chemistry as craft pulping, the process that produces every sheet of office paper on the planet. The mills just use wood chips and a $50 million digester. You're using a stock pot and a hot plate. After 2 hours, drain the pot through an old kitchen strainer or a piece of window screen. Rinse the fiber under running water until the water runs clear and the smell is gone. It will not smell like manure when you are done. It will smell like wet hay. If it still smells, rinse longer. Now the third step, and this is the one that decides whether your paper is fragile or strong. Take the rinsed fiber and put a small handful into a cheap blender with about 2 cups of water. A thrift store blender for $5 is perfect. Do not use your kitchen blender if your spouse will ever find out. Pulse it in short bursts for about 30 seconds. You are not trying to liquefy it, you're trying to fibrillate it, which means splitting the surface of each fiber into thousands of tiny fibrils. Those fibrils are covered in hydroxyl groups, the chemical hooks that form hydrogen bonds when the fibers dry against each other. That hydrogen bonding is the only thing holding paper together. No glue, no binder, no resin, just water-mediated chemistry between hydroxyl groups. The more you fibrillate, the stronger your paper. Beat it too little and it falls apart. Beat it too much and it turns into a translucent film. 30 seconds in a blender is the sweet spot. Pour the pulp into a shallow tub or a plastic storage bin with about a gallon of clean water. Stir it until the fibers are evenly suspended. That's your vat. The fourth step is pulling the sheet. You need a mold and a decal, which sounds fancy, but it's just 2 cheap wooden picture frames stacked together. Take any cheap picture frame from a dollar store, remove the glass and backing, and staple a piece of window screen across one of the frames. That's your mold. The empty frame stacked on top is your decal, and it determines the edges of your sheet. Total cost is about $3. Slide the mold and decal vertically down into the vat, level it out under the water, and lift straight up. The water drains through the screen. A wet mat of fiber stays on top. Let it drip for 10 seconds, then lift the decal off carefully. Now you couch the sheet, which is the papermaker's term for transferring it off the screen. Lay a piece of damp felt, an old towel, or a piece of cotton sheet on the table. Flip the mold upside down onto the cloth so the fiber side is touching it. Press down evenly with a sponge to push water out through the back of the screen and to bond the fiber to the cloth. Lift the mold straight up and the sheet stays behind. If it sticks to the screen is not wet enough or you didn't press hard enough. Wet the screen first and press harder next time. The fifth step is drying. Stack the couched sheets between layers of cloth, put a flat board on top and weigh it down with anything heavy. Books work, a few bricks work. Leave it for a few hours to press out the bulk of the water. Then peel each sheet off the cloth and lay it flat on a window, a mirror, or a sheet of glass. As it dries, it will adhere to the smooth surface and pull itself perfectly flat. Wait until it's bone dry, 12 hours or so, then peel it off. The side that was against the glass will be smooth enough to write on with a fountain pen. The other side will have the rough, fibrous texture that makes this paper unmistakable. Now here is the part almost everyone skips, and it's the reason most homemade paper looks like a kindergarten project instead of finished stationery. You have to size it. Sizing is a thin coating that fills the pores between fibers so ink doesn't bleed across the surface like a paper towel. Commercial paper is sized at the mill. Yours is not. The fix is dirt cheap. Dissolve a teaspoon of unflavored Knox gelatin in 2 cups of warm water. Brush a thin coat onto each finished sheet with a foam brush and let it dry. The gelatin forms a microscopically thin protein film that seals the surface. A box of Knox gelatin costs about $2 and will size 100 sheets. Without sizing, your paper is for art and texture. With sizing, it's for letters, journals, and ink. One safety rule you don't skip. Never source manure from a sick animal, a feedlot you don't know, or an operation that uses heavy antibiotics or dewormers. Those compounds can survive the boil. Stick to pasture-raised cattle from a farmer you can ask. And work outdoors or in a garage during the boiling step. The smell is not toxic, but it's not something you want in your kitchen. So, here's your full system. Free dried manure from a local pasture for your fiber, washing soda and a stock pot to sterilize the material and strip the lignin, a thrift store blender to fibrillate the fiber and unlock the hydrogen bonding, a dollar store picture frame and window screen to pull sheets, Knox gelatin to size them into real writing paper. The manure handles the cost of the raw material, the boiling handles safety and chemistry, the blender handles strength, the frame handles shape, the gelatin handles the finished surface. Specialty handmade paper from a stationery shop runs between $2 and $5 per sheet. This system makes the same product for pennies, and the most expensive thing you'll buy is the blender. Total setup is under $15, and one batch will make you 20 to 30 sheets. If you found this useful, share it and like the video.